Hey, it's Jason with jamzDOTnet, cars, DIY, and adventures. If you follow this channel, you know I have a ton of DIY projects and a list of projects that I'm just hoping to get done. Well, I was working on a project this past weekend and I was in a really tight spot and I was having a hard time getting to the bolt. And I pulled out a set that I haven't quite used yet, the Suzume 12-piece ratcheting wrench set. This lets me get into tight spots and be able to twist and pivot the head. So I said, you know what? I need to tell you guys about this and what I like about it. So let's step into the work shed. I'm gonna look at these a little bit closer and give you my opinion on just why these will be staying in my toolbox. Let's go. So as I mentioned, boatloads of projects, many of which are automotive related. I stepped back into my woodshed just because it's starting to rain outside and I needed to take a break. And I figured I really should give you guys an update on the Suzume ratcheting wrench sets that I have because they're staying in my toolbox. And I thought when I got them, I was going to use them for the initial project and resell them or give them to somebody. Instead, they're at the top shelf of my toolbox, and I find myself for auto projects reaching in quite a bit to get them. But why is that? Why do I like them? Let's go a little bit closer and answer those questions. So this set is going to cost you $97 on Amazon. You're going to get 24 pieces, 12 SAEs, and 12 metric sizes. The cool thing about these, let's use the metrics for now, they don't skip sizes. So what I mean by that is, how often do you buy a set? And when you buy a set, you very quickly realize that, you know, one of the sizes you need in that set is missing. This, in this case, starts at 8 millimeters. And it goes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 8 through 19 millimeters in the full set. The ratchet is critical, in my opinion, for tight spaces. Say you're trying to get some gasket covers or something off, you can put this in here and you can ratchet it down and it will click, click, click with 72 gear heads built into here. So instead of you having to do this, take it off, do this, you put it on and you can do with 72 gear heads in here to tighten that up. So you put it in, no matter how tight it is, even if it's just barely, one click, one click. You can see just how tight of spots you can get in with these. Now these have a bit of weight, which is nice, and that weight is because of the material that they're made of. They're made of chrome vanadium steel, and chromium increases hardness, tensile strength, and resistance to corrosion and oxidation. It also maintains the overall sharpness of the tool. Vanadium improves the toughness, the wear, and the resistance. It gives you more grain structure within the steel of the tool. And then carbon and iron, well, that's just the basic components of steel, giving it strength and the ability to be hardened. So you're getting a really nice tool that you can kind of throw around, but you should take care of your tools. But if you're like me, you might throw this and drop it on the concrete floor. And more importantly, when you're working in those spaces, you want this to be durable, and these 72 gear heads are really nice and protected to give you that durability. I just love the ratcheting aspect of these and the pivot hit ability. If you need to loosen something up, you can get in here pretty easily, and you can just with a small twist, get it loose, you flip it over, I can actually ratchet it back down without any problems. That pivot head is really good. You can kind of hear it clicking, and that's just me tightening this thing up, right? That pivot head is really nice because if you can't get in there easily, you can just use that pivot head, and you see it just, see, this is a 50-year-old bolt I'm doing here, but you can kind of see how it just grabs and clenches it super nice. So depending on the application, you have all the sizes you need, and if you're getting somewhere that's super tight, like let's say you're getting up under here, you could pivot that head up and you could actually just do it like so. So there's not a lot to say about them other than they're staying in my toolbox. I like that they don't skip sizes. I like the overall durability of them. You have your different sizes. You have your metric, which I use frequently, especially on all the Land Rovers. You have your SAE sizes here, which is super important for a lot more of the American-made earlier year vehicles. Now, if you're like me, you may have not have known what SAE stood for. It actually stands for the Society of Automotive Engineers. This organization developed many standards for automotive and mechanical tools, including the SAE sizes like 5/8 that we see here. And it's different than metrics, which metrics are 10, 12, 15 mil, that sort of thing. Older American-made cars and trucks, specifically pre-1980, you're going to want the SAEs. That is, generally the sizes you're going to be doing. For your toolkit, I always recommend having both because you never know what project you'll get into and need. So yes, the Suzume kit is a kit that I will be keeping in my toolbox. You're paying 90-some bucks for 24 different tools, 24 different ratcheting wrenches. So, that's a lot cheaper than if you bought some of the higher end ones individually. I do recommend this. I've used it on this old golf cart. I've used it on the Land Rover. I use them quite a bit, and I find them to be just as good as some of the higher end tools that I have. But time will tell. I've been taking care of these, as you can tell by how clean they are. I haven't been keeping them outside inadvertently or doing anything goofy with them. But if you're looking for a good kit to add to your toolbox, I really don't think you can go wrong with these, and I would recommend them. This is Jason with jamzDOTnet, cars, DIY, and adventures. Give me a subscribe on YouTube. Lots of great automotive and DIY related content that I think you will like. Have a great day.